Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome back. My name is Jax, and today I'm going to talk about being a daydreamer. So, I've always been a big daydreamer, but I feel like in the last week or so, I have been spending a lot of time in my own little reality or my own little fantasy world. I don't know what it is. Like before bed, when I wake up from getting out of bed, running at the gym. I've just spent a lot of time daydreaming and like having these little, I don't know, situations in my head playing out, um, imagining just weird and bizarre things that are never going to happen and that are ridiculous and things like that. I've been in my head quite a bit, in a good way, because I think it's possible to be in your head in a very bad way and to put yourself down and to let that voice in your head constantly tell you that you're not enough and all that kind of stuff. I haven't been doing that. It has mostly been, I don't know, imagining myself as the king of a little kingdom in medieval England, or I don't know. It's just, they've been weird stuff like that kind of. Um, and it's been interesting. Like I've started to notice like a bunch of time sort of passing. Like I'll look at the clock and be like, oh my gosh, like it's already 12 o'clock in the afternoon, you know? Um, and I used to get in a lot of trouble in school, especially for daydreaming. And even like with my parents, like at the kitchen table or at the dinner table, um, just being very reflective and quiet and just in my own little universe. Um, I was never allowed to like sit beside the window in a classroom because I would just daydream and I'd just stare outside the window all day. And so they always put me at like the far end or facing away from a window, and I would still daydream, but it was a little bit better, I guess. But I remember that distinctly. And I was told for such a long time that daydreaming is bad, that it's not productive. You need to focus on the here and now. Um, and there's all these kinds of things that sort of percolate from that. But I'm starting to see it in a different light, and I'm starting to kind of accept that it's just like a part of who I am, essentially. And I don't want to really like fight it that much. I want to try and be present. I mean, like I'm basically a Taoist, so Taoism teaches you that you need to be in the moment and um, focused on the here and now, not thinking of the past or the present, or not thinking of the past or the future. But daydreaming is kind of this weird middle ground, I suppose you could say, because when I'm daydreaming, I'm not thinking about the future or the past. I'm thinking about just like these sort of weird scenarios, or I'm thinking about just the universe, and it's quite deep, I guess, in a lot of ways. Sometimes it's very shallow, but a lot of the time it is quite deep. And I'm very much a person who spends a lot of time in my head. And I don't know, I think daydreaming is like a way that I can be in my head without those negative voices or those negative impressions coming to the surface. But yeah, it's an interesting concept, this idea of daydreaming, and kids that daydream are, usually quite creative. A lot of the time they're outsiders. They don't necessarily fit into the standard popular crowd. These are kids that are often reality is just not the vibe for these kids and these people. For me, reality at that age was just not good. And so I would just focus on, especially in school, I can't stress that enough. But I would sort of create these situations and these things in my head where I was like, an emperor of a new world, or I don't know, just the weirdest things. Or I was like some kind of animal, or and I would just exist in these little fantasies of my reality and of yeah, and I like it. I like daydreaming. I think it's one of those things that really doesn't hurt anybody. It's one of those things that's very controversial. Some people get really mad when people daydream. I'm bad for it, especially when talking to somebody. I'll like lose my train of thought, or I'll lose track of the conversation, and I'll sort of go, yeah, totally, yeah, oh my gosh. And I've gotten to the point where I'm quite good at like having a conversation with somebody, and I just know what I should be saying and I'm thinking about other things. Like I'm sort of daydreaming, and that's not a good habit, but um I've just done it for such a long time that it's kind of become a little bit of my normal, which is not the best, but it is what it is. So, yeah, that aspect of daydreaming is probably not the best, but it is what it is, like I just said. See, I'm kind of doing it right now, a little bit. Not that much, but it's trying. It's like I'm trying to go somewhere else. Um, but sorry, I have to like totally refocus myself. So daydreaming and why I don't think it's a bad thing. I think a lot of us, like I said before, do it to get out of a situation that you don't want to be in. For me, sitting in a desk, listening to a teacher drone on about mathematics or something, no, I'm sorry, I'm checking out real quick. Um, and when anybody talks about sort of celebrity drama or gossip, I glaze over. I'm just not interested. I'm sorry, but I'm so I'm so hyper fixated on the things that I'm interested in that if we're not talking about something that I find interesting, it's not gonna go well. And I apologize for that in the future. But I think one of the things I've noticed in the last week or two of spending a lot of time daydreaming and thinking about stuff is that I'm a lot less stressed out about stuff in general. Like, I'm one of these people who worries and has anxiety about a lot of things. And the last week or so, I feel like I've been able to kind of like lie back and just be like, I'm fine. Like, it's all fine. And the voice in my head really isn't sort of being like, you need to do this, and like, Jax, why haven't you done this, and oh my gosh, you need to do this, why hasn't this happened? Like, the little voice in my head isn't doing that. It's focusing on, like, I don't know, the daydreaming, my little like fantasies of being off conquering a world. Or I don't know why I keep saying that, because like my daydreams are very, like, I imagined I was like a tree the other day, and I was just being a tree, and all the things that happen to a tree and the things that a tree would see if a tree could see. That sounded weird, but yeah, I've just been a lot less stressed. I've been a lot more mellow, a lot more chill. My brain, like if you could like measure my brain waves in terms of the amount of things that I would think about in a day, like a few weeks ago, it would just be like really, really high. Like, it would be like up here. And currently I'm kind of like down here, just going on like a nice little wave. I mean, my brain isn't totally empty, but I kind of like it when it is empty, and it's just relaxing, and I can focus on what I need to do. And a lot of the stuff I've been doing for the last week or so has been kind of menial, like, not like menial as in like it doesn't matter, but menial as in it's monotonous work that I can just sort of go through the motions of. I don't have to think actively while I'm doing some of this stuff, some of the like farm work, cleaning up some stuff. A lot of it I can just kind of go on autopilot, and so my mind just goes through it all. And same with running at the gym. That's a big one. I daydream the whole time I run. As if I'm not listening to like a podcast or an audiobook or something, my daydreaming is real strong. So yeah, I've also been alone quite a bit for the last week or so. My parents got back day before yesterday, so the house is now busy and active, and I'm not spending hours and hours by myself just doing what I'm supposed to do, which is fine. I don't mind it. I kind of go either way, introvert, extrovert, whatever. So yeah, there's just been a few factors, but it got me thinking, and obviously it got me thinking enough to make a whole video dedicated to just daydreaming and my sort of experiences with it. So yeah, I think that's all I want to say on daydreaming, pretty much. But let me know if you're a daydreamer. And yeah, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Tuesdays are always kind of interesting. I don't know. Are they? I think they are. Tuesday is like the unsung hero of the week, because everybody hates Monday. And then Wednesday, it's like, oh, we're halfway there. but Tuesday is just, you know, just there. It's reliable. So yeah, I hope you're having an amazing Tuesday or whatever day it is that you're watching this. And as always, guys, I will talk to you guys tomorrow.